God has just given me a very interesting revelation, and it's about His will upon our lives. And this is that the will of the Lord God cannot impose His will on our lives. Of course, God has a plan for each and every one of us. He has a will. There is that path that He intends for. It's in His heart that each and every one of us walks in that path and walks in that will and walks in His plan for our lives. But He cannot impose that on us. He cannot force that on us. Remember Jesus at the Garden of Gethsemane? He was actually praying that God may, take the cup away from Him because it was too much. And also, for example, God wants you to either marry someone. It's in His heart, and it's in the desire of the Lord for Him, for you to marry maybe someone, or maybe to get a certain job, or for you to be somewhere. God cannot force you to walk in that. He cannot interfere with your will. He cannot because He's given us free will. So it takes us to co-labor with Him and to agree with Him by prayer. That's why we are told to pray without ceasing. Pray every day. And remember, while Jesus was teaching was teaching the disciples to pray, in the Lord's Prayer it says, let your will be done on earth just like it is done in heaven. We have to ask for the will of the Lord in our lives to be done. God cannot impose that on our lives. We have to ask for it to be done. So, for example, God has given you a vision, or has given you a dream or a desire in your heart, and you know that this is what the Lord wills for me. You have to pray until it manifests. You have to pray and ask the Lord that it may be manifested. So God will give you a vision. God will give you a dream. God will give you a desire, and He will even show you what your life should be like. He will show you where you need to be, but you have to ask Him to make it come to pass. So you just cannot sit and wait for it to happen without you doing anything about it. Of course, He's all powerful. He's all sovereign and mighty. He can do what He wants. He can do what He wants to do, but you have to ask Him to do what He wants to do. You have to ask Him. You have to ask Him. You have to pray for it to happen. You have to pray until it manifests. There is this verse that says that the kingdom of heaven, it suffers violence, but the violent shall take it by force. You have to be proactive. You have to be violent. You have to be vigilant. You have to, you cannot just sit and wait for it to happen. You have to pray for it to happen. Pray it. Speak it into manifestation. Just because you saw it, just because you dreamt it, just because you desire it, does not automatically mean it's going to happen. You have to ask for it to happen. So in this year, make that your prayer, and the Lord is going to make it happen. You have to co-labor with Him and agree with Him, guys.